I think we're live, man. NXT Takeover tonight. The best takeover show so far under the current circumstances. Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor absolutely killed it in the main event. Io Shirai and Candice LeRae overbooked. Not as good as their first match, but still a highlight for TakeOver 31. We got a new version of Kushida tonight against the Velveteen Dream. The Gargano way was not enough against Damien Priest. Tony Storm returned tonight, and man, oh man, is it Tony time! And we had another big return tonight, the mystery reveal. None other than Ember Moon. We are going to talk about it, and yes, I said we. Jesse is back! And we're going to talk everything TakeOver 31 right here on the #1 podcast in the IWC. This is your TakeOver 31 review. Right here on Off the Script.
Mine.
Alive with it. People still think. What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining us right here on Off the Script. I am JD from New York, and I'm joined by my very good friend, Jesse. What is going on, man?
How you feel, man?
I'm feeling good. How are you feeling after tonight's TakeOver 31? I know we got a lot to go over. We're going to dive into this as always. But what were your quick initial thoughts on TakeOver 31 tonight? Me, personally, I thought this was the best in-ring takeover so far in the pandemic era. Like we discussed before coming on here tonight, it was a very low standard to begin with. So we don't really have much to go on. But as far as my opinion goes, I thought it was the best in-ring takeover so far in the pandemic era. What'd you think?
Wrestling was awesome. I thought the wrestling was above average, and maybe it's just the result of me not watching the show on a weekly basis that much, but I just didn't care about anything.
Yeah, and that's the product. That's the product of them building this show in 2 weeks. We've mentioned this time and time again. You can't have a takeover and have it feel important if everything on the show was built in 2 weeks. This was a throwaway show.
Yeah, and it felt like that. It felt like they got a nice big rah-rah speech about going out there and doing it, and they all did it. But I don't know. See, I look at wrestling different, man. When I'm watching the show that I'm invested in the storylines in, then I kind of watch it and just get submerged into the story and then kind of enjoy the story and the wrestling. But when I'm watching a show where I don't know like any of the characters say, or I don't know any of the storylines, that I'm just watching it and just critiquing the wrestling by itself. You know, and it feels more like work than like anything else. I'm not enjoying the show. The wrestling is nice. The wrestling is awesome. You know, but my questions keep flowing through my head. Like, why is this happening? Why are they fighting? How did he get to this spot? Oh no, what's going on here? But it's a good match, so I can't complain about the wrestling. I just without no interest in any of the stories tonight.
I completely agree with you.
I kind of wanted. I was kind of rooting for O'Reilly to get it done, so I had an interest in that. But other than that, it was just enjoying the wrestling.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, look up and down this card. Johnny Gargano versus Damien Priest. Very good match. I'm a big fan of both guys. Everybody knows I love Johnny. Damien Priest is one of my current favorites on NXT. Some people might disagree with that. Some people think he's boring, but I think he's done a great job just elevating himself. He's a lot better now than what he was when we first seen him. But that match didn't make sense. I don't know why Johnny was getting the match to begin with. Then we got Io and Candice. They went about doing a battle royal to crown a number one contender for that championship in literally a week. So that was rushed. We got Kushida and the Velveteen Dream. That seems to be the only match on this card that actually had any long-term storyline coming into it, because Velveteen Dream attacked Kushida coming out of that triple threat match that actually landed him a spot in the last TakeOver's ladder match. So that's been dating back to the last TakeOver show. So that's the only match on this entire card that has some sort of story going into it. Then we got Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor. Right, Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor. That was thrown together in 2 weeks. And I think we all have our assumptions with that one. Whether Adam Cole is being demoted to the main roster or not, we don't know yet. But clearly they're building around Kyle O'Reilly to be the leader of the Undisputed Era. And then we got Santos Escobar and Isaiah Swerve Scott. Fantastic match. I think both guys are absolutely phenomenal in the ring. But WWE, I mean, they would be fooling themselves if they told us that the Cruiserweight Championship was important to them. It's not. I mean, those guys have not been built up good, and the Cruiserweight Championship has not been a priority to them, and neither one of those guys has any care from the fans at all. But we all appreciate how great their wrestling is. But how the fuck are we supposed to care if everything legitimately on this show was thrown together in 2 weeks just to get a takeover out there? You know?
That's the feeling of it. I mean, it's just, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, I'll sit and I'll enjoy the wrestling for what it is. But I mean, other than that, okay, this person won. Now what? This person won. Now what? I mean, I just don't care. I'm not excited about the winner or upset about the loser. It was just a good match.
Do you see this takeover show as being more of a reset button? A lot of people thought that this was rushed. My feelings, your feelings included. Do you see this takeover as more of a reset button, more of a new era for NXT, or do you just think that's all complete manufactured hype bullshit to kind of reinvigorate the brand when there really isn't anything to reinvigorate there?
I mean, I can say I didn't honestly feel anything like a reset until you just said it right now. I mean, I didn't think about that at all, so I'm gonna say probably not. But here's my weird thinking and questioning of the booking. So when you start things like a tournament and a battle royal and just things like that, when you start getting fans behind a certain person that's making it all the way to the top to fight the champion, and then they lose, I always kind of get that, what was the point of this feeling? They went through this whole 2-week build of O'Reilly giving us his history, telling us how tough he is, what he's done to make it here, and how he deserves to be here. And then they put him through this match where he took 85% of the offense, and he looked like a come-from-behind babyface that just wanted to win because he was getting his ass kicked, and then he lost. And then as soon as he lost, the attention was shifted somewhere else, not involving him. Now he's like an afterthought. So now my question is, why did this have to happen? I was convinced that O'Reilly was going to win. Then that would have been a changing of the guard. It didn't happen. It didn't have to happen for me to like the show, but I just didn't understand the whole build.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at that with Johnny Gargano and Damien Priest as well tonight. I mean, where does Johnny go after losing to Damien Priest? I mean, he lost clean. You know, Candice LeRae lost, you know, whether you want to call it overbooked or, you know, nefarious, whatever the case may be, with Johnny Gargano coming into the ring as a referee, thinking that he was going to steal the victory for his wife. I mean, where does Candice LeRae go after that? It's like, it's almost as if everything we say about NXT slowly transforming itself into the main roster is becoming a reality right before our very eyes, because more times than not, every single week we see shit like that happen on Monday Night Raw, on SmackDown, where people get championship matches. There's no build leading into those championship matches. Whoever is in that championship match, they would lose, whether it be the females or the males, they lose, and then right back the next week, we get like a rematch, and then a rematch, and a rematch, and a rematch. Is that going to be a situation with this show? Or is NXT and Triple H going to come up with new storylines and bring us into a new, fresh direction on next Wednesday's show? I hope that's not the case, because I personally can see another match between Priest and Gargano. I could see another match with Candice LeRae still being involved with Io Shirai. You know, Kyle O'Reilly and the Undisputed Era look like they're not done yet with whatever they got going on. So is this going to be a situation where it's going to be more of the same or new?
Yeah, it's a good point, man. I just don't know where they're going with this. To be honest, man, it felt like it was rushed and put together. Which, I mean, look, I can take that if at the end of it I understand why and I see why, but they rushed and threw it all together to have nothing really change from it. Like nothing changed. I mean, like what really everybody retained. They did, turn the corner on a couple of stories, but they could have done that on the NXT television show. Why do we need a pay-per-view for this?
Yeah, I agree. I never was really interested coming into this show. Everything was hyped around the new direction of NXT, because Triple H was on the conference call and said that this would be a new era. This is going to be revolutionary for NXT, so on and so forth. And what he meant by that, we didn't know then. But we knew as of this afternoon, because then we started seeing reports come out by Sports Illustrated, and Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated was, going on and on and on about his interview with Triple H. And then all of a sudden we got the new WWE NXT home, which is now the Performance Center, which they renamed the Capital Wrestling Center. Now, I don't know what this means, if NXT is going to run out of this building permanently. For now, we don't know that. Is this going to still be WWE Central Hub for training everybody? Are they getting a new performance center and making this the official home of NXT? I don't know, but Triple H said that they went on and transformed the WWE Performance Center, and I will admit tonight, the TakeOver shows, I think everybody can agree with me, have been sorely hurt by the fans not being there. I can't watch an AEW show fully invested like I was. I can't watch an NXT show or an NXT TakeOver or an AEW pay-per-view fully invested like I was this same time last year, because the fans, more so than any other show in the sport right now, these two shows on Wednesday night need that fan energy. And with the last couple of takeovers, TakeOver 30, TakeOver In Your House, it felt like a TV taping, and it didn't feel like a TakeOver special that you and I were just jaw-dropped for 2.5 hours 2-3 years ago. It's not the same. They need to bring that feeling back. They tried to tonight with the Capital Wrestling Center. I love the enthusiasm of Triple H and his team at NXT to build the Performance Center and really make it the centralized hub for the brand. I thought the screens looked very well. I mean, I'm not into the whole virtual thing, but here we are again now with NXT getting the virtual fans. There were at least 100 people in attendance tonight, friends and family, live people. I don't know if there was 100 like they said. It didn't really seem like it on TV. But they transformed the Performance Center with the big screens. It's almost like a mini Thunderdome. The lighting was great. It almost had like a real underground feel with the black and the dark lighting. They tried to live up to that old TakeOver feel. It had the plexiglass, but this time the plexiglass was encased around like a mini steel cage. There was gates around the ringside area. What did you think of the mini Thunderdome and the new transformation of the WWE Performance Center? It definitely looked better than what we've got, but my God, man, to me, I don't get the hype around it. I don't think it's revolutionary. I think it's just NXT trying to maintain their brand any way they can moving forward before we hopefully get back to normal. And I honestly think that it almost came off as a TV taping still, even with all the enhancements.
Yeah, I think it was oversold by Triple H.
Yeah.
Because when I saw the reports and his interviews and everything else about how he sold it as having this humongous, this big retro old school feel, and something revolutionary and totally different. I'm expecting something that I've never seen before. It looks like they got a smaller Amway Center and put cages and plexiglass around and added the NXT roster around there. I saw nothing old school. This place had like 40,000 monitors. How am I supposed to feel like this is something old school? I mean, it's not. I'm not saying I didn't like the place. I didn't say it won't be effective. I'm saying the way he's built it up and described it made no sense to what it looks like.
Yeah. I mean, typically Triple H is very good at that, building the hype for something. Normally he's very good at it, but this time I think he kind of oversold it, like you said. I didn't really get the entire hype around it. Does it enhance the show? Yes, by a little bit, but it still comes off to me as a regular NXT TV taping on Wednesday night. I mean, they even had the piped-in crowd reactions tonight chanting "Fight Forever," and we had those massive NXT chants that everybody loves and misses from, you know, the big shows in the venues when we had things back to normal. It feels like it was really overdone, and I didn't really get that sense of, oh my God, this is definitely more towards the takeover that I remember. I didn't get any of that feeling. In fact, like you said, I think you texted me earlier in the night when we were watching the show. At one point, I was still incredibly bored by it because of the lack of energy that there was. Manufactured energy is not energy. It's not.
No, I do like how I like how they put the steel gates around the plexiglass.
Me too.
It does give the fans a little. It gives the 100 fans the ability to make more noise than 100 fans should be able to make. You know, and maybe that's something they can come up with going forward. Maybe implement some of the technology they're using to pipe in crowd noise. Maybe give that into the hands of the fans somehow. I mean, I don't know. Like if the crowd noise gets louder or starts chanting shit, it's because the fans started maybe hit their interactive buttons to make him do it, and not WWE doing it.
Yep.
So if you hear a "This is awesome" chant, it's because maybe they got it programmed so if 85% of the people hit "This is awesome," then you'll get a "This is awesome" chant. You know, who knows? I mean, something interactive and different because of what we get to work with right now. You know, but. I like how it felt like this is weird because I saw some kind of report about this supposedly being some kind of NXT underground idea going around, but that's here nor there. But yeah, it kind of looks like an underground type deal. But I mean, I like the raw grittiness of it, the lighting of it, and the 100 fans and everything else. But the piped in crowd noise and the screens kind of took away from the raw feeling from me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't gritty anymore.
Yeah. Triple H, I believe he said that he didn't want to move NXT into the Amway Center for whatever reason. I think I might have some news on that. He explains why he was actually against holding the NXT shows from the WWE quote-unquote Thunderdome. He said in a video call, I believe during the conference call. Or actually, this was a interview with Sports Illustrated. I'm sorry. He said, since we have a permanent residence at the Amway Center for now, which ends in October, there was talk of NXT running there, but I was very resistant to that. Triple H said, don't get me wrong, the spectacle of it is awesome, but one of my goals is to make sure NXT has its own feel and vibe. Now we are ready to make our splash, and when people see what we have created, people will understand why this is the best environment for us. I could actually appreciate him not wanting to move into the Amway Center, because I think more times than not, we say over and over again, especially lately, that NXT has this main roster feel to it, and none of us really appreciate it. And if you don't see it, I honestly think you're completely missing the boat on it. It definitely has a main roster feel to it. So I can appreciate Triple H not wanting to move into the Amway Center and keep NXT away from anything main roster. But is it really a fact of NXT keeping itself away from the main roster? Because it still has that main roster feel. Building or not, it doesn't really fucking matter. I've said it before. I've said it all fucking summer with the Thunderdome. I don't give a fuck where they're taking these shows and putting these shows. The building doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Just give me the fucking show that we remember.
But he gutted. I don't think the PC is a training facility anymore. They probably have another offsite PC because they said that they gutted the PC. They gutted it and redid it for NXT, which is great. Now, if he doesn't want to be in Amway because he wants to seem different or unique, that's great. But why did he make his new facility look 85% just like the damn Thunderdome?
I don't know. I really don't know. Is it a case where Triple H knew if he went into the Thunderdome that he would be abiding by Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn rules? Did he want to just do his own thing and kind of have control over something similar with NXT? I don't know. Listen, I appreciate him not wanting to associate with anything main roster because what he's built over the last 8-9 years with NXT, it is very hard to differentiate and keep that consistency with NXT as long as he's done it. Now, it's dropped off the last couple of months for sure, last few months, but I appreciate him wanting to differentiate. How far that differentiation is going to go remains to be seen because I don't know. I still feel like something's going on internally that we don't know and that we're never going to find out about. I know you feel like the main roster has some sort of small stranglehold on what's going on with NXT right now.
There's something going on there. They're not. I mean, Triple H does not have full control over the narrative over NXT anymore. There's just no way he does. But look, they kind of missed an easy PR grab here. I mean, it also might be a good idea to keep NXT in a different facility. If nothing else, then you get a couple of hundred less people wandering around the Thunderdome. The more people you have wandering around one facility, the higher the chances of there being a COVID outbreak.
Yeah.
So if you get 3 rosters and you split them up into 2 different facilities, that's better than putting all 3 in one building.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. The other big thing coming out of, actually 2 big things coming out of this show tonight, besides what we've already addressed, is WWE's bringing back Halloween Havoc. And that is going to be a TV special on October 28th, I believe was the date, hosted by Shotzi Blackheart. Now, I do have my reservations about this. I do have my positives and concerns about this. Number one, and I want to get your take on this, my feeling about Halloween Havoc is I don't know why the fuck we're getting Hell in a Cell every single month, or every single October, every single year. Hell in a Cell and those gimmick pay-per-views, Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber is the only one I actually like, even that to a degree. TLC, all that shit, Money in the Bank needs to go. I've never wanted those shows as gimmick standalone pay-per-views. I've been saying it for years. Money in the Bank should move back to WrestleMania, get rid of Hell in a Cell, get rid of TLC, and actually put some traditional pay-per-views that actually have some meaning behind them instead of these gimmick pay-per-views, because it also does put a stranglehold on creative, and it makes just things really messy creatively. And leave it to WWE to just fuck things up creatively on the main roster. I've been asking for Halloween Havoc to be a main roster staple every single year since I've been doing this fucking show. I don't know why they've never embraced it on the main roster. I've always heard it was always a copyright issue. WWE didn't own the copyright, etc., etc. I always thought it was bullshit, and we never got it on the main roster. Now, it could have been a case. I don't believe it. I just think it's a case of Vince McMahon not wanting to use it because it's not his creation. So he's not going to use a WCW themed pay-per-view in the middle of all these WWE-owned names. So that was my take there. Now NXT is doing it at the end of October, hosted by Shotzi Blackheart, which could be a make-or-break situation for her. She's not really that great on the microphone, but if they do it in small bursts and they really present her in a great light, it could be a breakout performance for Shotzi Blackheart, which is great, because I think she does great work. But Halloween Havoc on NXT, man, it is very difficult for me to sit here and not think, Jesus fucking Christ, here's another gimmick that they're revising that should be on the main roster that they're only using to combat AEW and bring attention to get a possible ratings win on Wednesday night. Are you feeling that same way?
Did you remember the first War Games? Did you enjoy the first War Games?
I did, but that was when NXT was cool.
Well, what do you think if the main roster would have taken on War Games? Do you think you would have enjoyed it then?
It wouldn't have. Well, I probably would have enjoyed it. It would not have been as good as what NXT did.
Well, now NXT has Halloween Havoc. Do you think the main roster would do a good job with putting on the Halloween Havoc pay-per-view?
It depends. I mean, if you give me a Halloween Havoc pay-per-view and you build some good matches around and give me the theme of Halloween towards the end of the month, I don't know how you could fuck that up.
What was the last main roster pay-per-view you enjoyed?
Completely? I can't even answer that question.
So
I enjoyed aspects of the last show.
Havoc?
SummerSlam was all right.
Why would it start now with Halloween Havoc? They would have messed it up too. They mess them all up. You be sitting there upset because they ruined a childhood favorite of yours.
Whatever, man. I'm trying to correct the wrong here. And you're telling me what I like and what I don't. Just give me the fucking answer, will you?
Give it to Triple H. I mean, we're gonna get our best rendition of a Halloween Havoc and everything else that we want brought back, a Starrcade. We're gonna get our best renditions of that in NXT, not the main roster. What if they gave us Starrcade every December and then Halloween Havoc every October? We be sitting there every year complaining about how bad the shows are.
Yeah, but the thing is, NXT never had to resort to these types of gimmick shows. The gimmick shows never really were a thing in NXT. You know what they did to present themselves as, oh my God, I gotta watch this show. Give me a fucking Matt Riddle versus Adam Cole for the NXT title and let them go 25 minutes. That's what's gonna get my fucking blood boiling, you know?
Well, the gimmick, all the takeovers has been gimmick takeovers. It's just that the town that they visit were the gimmick. NXT Brooklyn, Takeover Chicago. The whole theme is around Chicago, so around Brooklyn. Now they don't travel. So now they got to come up with some other way to make it unique. So now it's, Halloween Havoc. Now it's this. Now it's Takeover 31. It's their way of making it unique because they're all going to be in the same building.
All right, so what's next? Is Starrcade going to be next for NXT? What about Fall Brawl? What about Super Brawl? They can't do Bash at the Beach, or can they? I don't fucking know. Maybe. Or Cody Rhodes owns that. I don't fucking know. What are they going to do next? Hog Wild?
I would actually embrace a Starrcade.
I would too.
I would love a Starrcade. Do it in December. If they did it right, they can do it in December the way it's always been, and they can use it as a setup going into the Rumble. Because then you can kind of see who came out of Starrcade looking like what. Because then the following month you got the Rumble coming up, and then you set up it's better than having a takeover on Saturday and then having people show up at the Rumble on Sunday.
Yeah, next thing you know, we're gonna get NXT sold out and fucking recreation of the NWO. They're gonna reform the NWO with fucking Dexter Lumis as its leader. Give me a fucking break.
They can rename and redo all these gimmick pay-per-views all they want, as long as we get modernized versions of them with without the old wrestlers and the old way of it. I mean, they can modernize it. It's just a way of doing a show without just having a big screen saying this is a pay-per-view. We got to take your word for it because there's no set, there's no sound, there's no stage. But now we got Halloween Havoc. I expect a big setup. I want to see some Halloween shit going on.
Yeah, next thing you know, we're going to see fucking NXT Hog Wild, and they're going to recreate the Jay Leno moment, right? They'll bring out fucking Jimmy Kimmel. You fucking kidding me? I don't put anything past these fucking people anymore.
Probably, dude.
Anyway, Halloween Havoc's coming back. We'll see how it goes, but to me, it's very difficult to sit here and not think, oh my God, here's another fucking thing to combat AEW. You're not going to see what AEW is going to do on that Wednesday night, but hopefully Shotzi can deliver, and she can thrive in that role as host. And they got the right woman for the job since, she fits the bill just based on her looks alone, and she loves all that horror stuff, so it should be very interesting for her, to say the least. The other thing, Jesse, with the ladies of NXT tonight, we've seen two major returns. It's Tony time! And you guys know I love Tony time. And Toni Storm is back. Not really in the most ceremonious way she came back. I would have definitely preferred, like you said to me via text tonight, that she was actually in the fucking building and not on a big screen, and then not before the big unveiling of the return of this individual who is back for what is rightfully hers, and that apparently now is the NXT Women's Championship. The mystery vignettes and the biker vignettes on NXT the last couple of weeks has been revealed, and it is Ember Moon. She is back. I love Ember Moon. She's gotten one of the biggest shafts you could possibly ever imagine on the main roster. They fucked her up so bad. She's in a league of her own at this point with how badly they fucked her up, man. You'd think they fucked up anybody else on the main roster. Just look at Ember Moon. She got injured and tore her Achilles chasing Carmella and the 24/7 championship. Imagine missing one fucking year of wrestling for that. And now she's back. I don't know what they made as far as the decision with her is concerned to come back. Maybe she didn't want to go back to the main roster, But I'm glad NXT has her. This is going to be another Finn Balor situation. She's going to be recreated and reinvented here in NXT, and I think that's going to be great. She was great in NXT, and I know you are just as excited to see her back in NXT like I am.
I'm happy that she's returning to the ring because her injuries were so severe. They were career threatening.
Yeah, that's what she said, yeah.
Yeah, I mean there were chances she was never gonna wrestle again. So the fact that she's in a ring alone, I'm really, really happy about. Now that she's in an NXT ring, I'm over the top about. I don't know what kind of timing this is to have Io on the hot streak, bring Tony back, and then 30 seconds later introduce Ember. I forgot about Tony as soon as I saw Ember Moon's face, dude. Tony who?
Oh, give me a break. Are you serious?
Tony who, dude? Ember Moon deserves a push before Tony, so why bring Tony in right now?
I'll tell you why they're bringing Tony in and why they brought Ember Moon back in the same night. Somebody's getting fucking demoted. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's Rhea. I don't know if it's Rhea Ripley. Apparently Rhea Ripley was supposed to fight Raquel Gonzalez on the pre-show. That did not happen. I don't know. And then Triple H on the pre-show interviewed or actually said something to Rhea Ripley, and he mentioned her about being the next face of the women's division. I honestly think she's getting called up, and the reason why we're seeing Toni Storm and Ember Moon back on NXT is the fact that Rhea Ripley is going to end up in the draft. Somehow, some way. I even feel the same thing about Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano, which I hope is not the fucking case. So they brought those two women in because I think there's going to be some subtractions from the NXT women's division.
Oh, the Garganos are out of here, dude. They're gone.
I hope not.
They're gone. Yeah, I saw the interview where Triple H was putting Rhea over. But yeah, he said he expects her to be at the top of the women's division in 4 or 5 years. I don't know if he meant the NXT women's division or what. But maybe she's getting called up now. And maybe he's saying in 4 or 5 years her ass will be right back at NXT at the top of the roster, just like everybody else who leave.
You know what that means. If Rhea's going to end up on the main roster, you know who's not far behind, right? In returning?
No, who is that?
Everybody's favorite android.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah. That's the first thing I got. For what? To bury her again? What the fuck you mean for what?
She already buried her once, dude. Well, why does she have to come to the main roster to get buried by Charlotte? Charlotte came down to NXT to bury her last time.
Well, it doesn't matter, man. Charlotte likes to feast everywhere. What are you kidding me?
Jeez.
NXT, fucking she'll go fucking travel across the globe and fucking bury somebody in Stardom. She don't give a fuck.
She's gonna fucking bury Evilise. Watch.
That's what I feel. I feel like somebody's getting demoted to the main roster. Man, I hope it's not the Garganos, man. Can you imagine Candice LeRae? Actually, Candice might be better off than Johnny. If Bruce sees Johnny, bro, I told you this via text, man. If Johnny Gargano was on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, bro, I'm telling you right now, we're going to get the Shorty G's. We're going to get fucking Chad Gable and Johnny Gargano forming a new fucking tag team. And they're going to put Johnny Gargano in fucking Harlem Globetrotter gear. Watch. I'm telling you right now. And then everybody's going to call for Bruce's head. And then Johnny Gargano's going to end up fucking quitting. Watch.
Oh, God. I hope not. You put that out there in the world, so if it happens...
There you go, Bruce. Take it. Go ahead, bro. I accept my royalties via PayPal, okay?
Unbelievable, dude.
Anyway.
Yeah, they're out of here, dude. They both lost tonight. They both came in hyping about walking out as king and queen, and they both leave as losers. They're gone. They're out of here, dude. The draft is coming up. They're gone.
Hey, maybe one can have hope. Daniel Bryan is on the creative team on SmackDown. Maybe he's vying for Johnny Gargano to join SmackDown, and we can have a Johnny Gargano-Daniel Bryan feud going into WrestleMania. With this current gimmick, the Johnny Gargano way, right? Against Daniel Bryan and the Yes Movement. Bro, take my money.
No, I'm looking at a WrestleMania match, Gargano and Candice versus Seth and Becky, dude.
Oh, God. And who's going to be in the corner? The new kid?
Yeah, probably. Probably Charlotte. Charlotte's going to win that match, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, that is all the news coming out of NXT tonight. Those are the big happenings. We're going to go over the card and what we thought of the matches individually in just a second. Thank you guys so very much for joining me. We just hit 1,000 live viewers tonight for NXT TakeOver. Super chats are open, so make sure you guys get your super chats in. Ask us anything you want. Jesse and I will be taking the questions at the end of the show. Hoot Media in the chat. My analyst, Hoot Media in the chat. Are we number one, Hoot Media? Let me throw that out there. I'll be looking for your answer and the correct answer in just a second. But thank you guys so much for joining me here on the podcast with Jesse, man. Follow me on Twitter at JD206. That is on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. If you missed any of the uploads this week, man, Monday Night Raw, NXT, AEW, Off the Script, and some Off the Script extras as well. Everything you need is linked down below in the description for the videos you might have missed, man. Hoop Media says, we're number one, man, but we need more likes. Hit that thumbs up, guys. That was my next thing. Hit that thumbs up. Helps out the channel immensely. And turn on that bell for all notifications. Couple of ways to support the show. Number one, Patreon. Patreon.com/JD206. You guys can become a new member like Robert Hall just became a new member in the chat. Thank you so much, Robert Hall. You guys can become a new member of the channel. You guys can super chat. You guys can go and get your masks. Mouthmasker.com/OTS. The new black masks are in stock and they look great, man. So go and get your face coverings. Also, you guys can buy a t-shirt at bonfire.com. Link for that is down in the description of this very video. And always, you can support the sponsor for today's show, Harry's. Harry's.com/script. You guys can get a trial value set delivered right to your door in just a couple of days and try how great a shave Harry's really is, man. Harry's.com/script. So let's go over the show, man. We got the opening match. Damien Priest versus Johnny Gargano. This was to retain the North American Championship. Damien Priest retains in what I thought was a very good match by both guys. Like we just got done finished saying, Johnny Gargano could be doomed. I hope to God not. I hope Triple H really loves him the way he says he does and would not bestow that upon him. But it looks like Johnny Gargano could be finished in NXT. I hope not, but Damien Priest has come a long way. What do you think of Damien Priest and his performance as of late this summer, Jesse? Do you think he's gotten better, and why or why not? Or are you not a fan of Damien Priest?
I think he's gotten better from where he started. Put it like this. I'm not a fan of his promos as they are right now, but they've gotten better from where they started. As far as the gimmick, look, his in-ring work is fine. As far as him having quote-unquote it, I don't think he has quote-unquote it, but not every wrestler on the planet needs that to get over. I think he'll be fine. I think he's fine in the ring. I think that gimmick can use some tweaking and his promo can use some work, but I'm personally not a fan of any of it.
You're not a fan of his kind of inspiration off Razor Ramon, Diesel, and Shawn Michaels all rolled into one? He's a big fan of the Click, I can see.
Yeah, he's a big, tall guy. He can move, he got the moves in the ring, so I can't bash him like, why is he here? I'm just not feeling this gimmick, man, and I'm just not feeling this look either. I don't know what it is. I just don't know what it is. I mean, maybe it's his tone when he talks. I don't know. I got nothing negative to say about his in-ring work. Otherwise, I'd be happy to shit all over it, but I got nothing. I'm just not a fan of the gimmick at all.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really mind the gimmick. It's nothing that's going to blow anybody's socks off. It's nothing new. He's not really recreating, a new persona here. It's definitely a take on all three of those guys that I just mentioned. He's got that Playboy-esque attitude. I think he's a really good promo. I think he's got a very good promo. But other than that, I thought Johnny Gargano was going to win this match because of the way that WWE was hyping the Gargano way and them talking about being the biggest power couple, the only power couple in NXT to hold the, I guess, in this case, the NXT North American Championship and the Women's Championship at the same time, but that was not the case. Very good match between these two. Started off with Gargano running at Priest at the bell, but he stopped short before attacking. He looked scared, so Johnny Gargano really playing up his heel role here. Priest threw a spin kick and chased Gargano out of the ring. Gargano then snuck back in, put a few boots to Priest until Damien Priest responded with a huge spinning roundhouse kick. Gargano used an arm drag to whip Priest from the apron to the floor, which looked brutal. Priest did a front flip and bumped hard onto the floor with that move. Gargano landed a tope suicida, worked over Priest inside the ring, so he took control early on. Priest launched a comeback, started to make that babyface comeback when he planted Gargano with a big modified flatliner. He then went for the Razor's Edge, which they actually call it the Razor's Edge, so there's that take on Razor Ramon. But Gargano reversed on the way down into a sunset bomb. Priest then stuck a big Superman punch, missed the spin kick, which then allowed Gargano to lariat Priest to the floor. Priest then used his high spin kick to knock Gargano off the apron. He topped it with a razor's edge, then onto the apron on Gargano, then rolled Gargano back into the ring, went for a cover, only got a 2 count. So they traded big spots here, a couple of near falls back and forth, lots of really close near falls. Gargano used a standing sliced bread on Damien Priest and then hit a running lariat to Priest back, got another 2 count. Gargano then started to mock and taunt Damien Priest here, and he did a shot of the imaginary bow and arrow at Priest before Priest was able to then make another comeback. He landed a beautiful sit-out chokeslam, which he calls the South of Heaven. Obviously, he's a big metal guy. That's South of Heaven. Slayer's South of Heaven, if you guys know Slayer and you're into that 80s thrash. Priest went to the top, and Gargano rolled the other way and then exited the ring. So Damien Priest went up top. Gargano was in the middle of the ring. He rolled out of the ring. And then this was the best part of the match to me because this was a throwback of sorts, Jesse. I don't know if you caught this. Priest was going for a fucking senton, ricochet style, over the turnbuckle and the steel post. Gargano was on the outside. Gargano pulls the cameraman and a security guard, or it might have been 2 security guards, in the way of Damien Priest. And Damien Priest, instead of landing on Gargano, lands on the 2 security guards. This was literally a recreation of the WrestleMania 25 Undertaker dive on Shawn Michaels, where Shawn Michaels lunged out of the way and dragged the cameraman with the Undertaker almost breaking his neck at WrestleMania 25. Did you catch that at all?
No, I didn't relate the two at all. I mean, I saw the spot, and I know the spot you're talking about by heart, but I didn't say, oh, that's from 25. No, I never related the two.
Yeah, it looked almost identical to the WrestleMania 25 spot with Undertaker and HBK. Yeah. So then the referee was there. He was asking for help. One guy was holding his knee. Gargano seen this. He started to worry here. So he wanted to do something nefarious. He kicked Damien Priest right between the legs, low blow, and he rolled him in the ring. Gargano put on the Gargano escape, and Priest rolled towards the rope. He broke the hold. Gargano pulled Priest into the ring to put it on again. Priest fought to the rope again and broke the hold. Gargano sold it, and he was very upset. He didn't understand how this was not the end of the match. Gargano then hit Priest's arm with repeated knees. He then put Priest on the apron, just feet away from the steps, which had been moved earlier in the match. Priest fought off a shove, and then he tried to suplex Gargano onto the steel steps. Gargano charged with a forearm, but Priest did not fall. Gargano then ran into a kick, and Priest entered and got super kicked immediately by Johnny Gargano. Gargano wanted one final beat, but Priest held on to the ropes to stop the move. He then hit an assisted rope reckoning to finish, and he retained the North American Championship. Damien Priest won. What'd you think of the overall match? Was it a Johnny Takeover-like match? And do you agree with the outcome?
Again, I don't have too much complaints about the wrestling tonight. I mean, we're talking about NXT and a takeover. I mean, if there's not good wrestling, then, I mean, we have no point to even be here. So I like the match. The match was good. Like I said, Priest is fine in the ring. Gargano is going to bring anybody to a 4-star match just, by waking up in the morning. So, and Priest can hold his own. So the match was good. I don't know where they're going with Johnny. Johnny is hysterical, and, him and Candice are doing fantastic things right now, but I don't know why they're losing. So if they stick around in NXT, they're going to be complete losers in my eyes. So if they go to the main roster, I guess they're still going to be losers in my eyes. So I don't know what the hell they do from here. But the match was awesome, man. The in-ring work was awesome. I missed that throwback to it, but you're right. That was definitely a throwback to 25 right there. I missed that one.
Yeah, that's the first thing I noticed when I picked it up. Do you think Johnny Gargano has lost way too many times at TakeOver? Even though he's Johnny Takeover, do you feel he's lost a couple, just one too many TakeOver matches?
No, I mean, every time he gets in a TakeOver ring, it's an awesome show. And then his character doesn't stay the same. Now, I think if his character stayed the same for the whole time and he keeps losing, then yeah, he looked kind of ridiculous. But he's kind of become unhinged, and he's kind of has his own, he's in his own little Gargano bubble world of his, so he can lose, and next week he'll come out and talk about how he won the match. He will still stay comical about it and everything else. Can he keep losing forever? No, of course not. He can't lose forever, but I thought they were bringing these two up to be somewhere in the upper tier card for once, and they're not. So my guess is they're gonna be gone, man. Because how else do you get them up there right now at this point? They both lost to the champions.
Not only that, bro, I don't think there's anything Johnny Gargano can do more in NXT. I mean, he's literally done everything. It's like, if you go back to giving him a shot at the North American title, make him the North American champion, have him feud for the NXT title again, I mean, it's just gonna look and feel like, haven't we done this 3-4 fucking times already? I mean, I don't want him to move up because I know exactly what's gonna happen to him. I don't see anything good happening to Johnny Gargano on the main roster, but I mean, to push himself and really just add to his resume, hopefully, the main roster may be the only way for both him and Candice LeRae. I mean, they are absolutely more than ready, more so than anybody else in that entire company to be on the main roster. So, do you really think it's going to happen?
Well, I mean, because if you think about it, the longer he stays in NXT, you know he's going nowhere because Cross will be back.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
and my guy Kevin Castle's in the chat. He said Cross is going to be back sooner rather than later. He's going to be back sooner than everybody expected, and Castle is cool with Cross, so he's got more information than most when it comes to carrying Cross. So
awesome. See, I didn't even see that. See that alone. Yeah, once Cross comes back, what the hell is Johnny gonna do? He's not beating Cross.
Yeah.
He's not beating.
I mean,
Cross.
nobody's beating Cross.
So somebody has to beat him at some point, but it will not be a Gargano.
No. So just based off that, yes, you are correct. Johnny Gargano will probably go. If anything, it'll be Tommaso Ciampa challenging carrying Cross, not Johnny Gargano, and that means nothing good for Tommaso Ciampa either, because I don't even see him beating Cross.
No, there's nobody to challenge Cross right now but Ciampa, and even he's slated to lose that rematch.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing. If Cross does come back, who do they have that could be built up to take him on? Right now, they got nobody. And the only guy that they had was Keith Lee, and now Keith Lee is limited Keith Lee on the main roster.
Which is not the worst thing on the planet, because he can be champion, he can hold on to it, he can just sit on that title for a while, and it will not take NXT long to build up a new main event star to deal with him. It looks like they're building one up right now. The guy that just murdered Adam Cole.
Oh, Ridge Holland? I'm not a fan.
Me either, but he's out there beating up Adam Cole.
Well, this is them needing new stars, right? We all wanted Kyle O'Reilly to win because we thought it would be a star-making moment for Kyle O'Reilly. Everybody thinks he's great regardless, but now they got Ridge Holland in the mix. They clearly need to build new stars because, again, this just is a foreshadowing. NXT might be purged in the draft. Now, I don't know if they're going to be a part of the draft. I read rumors today that they were, and then WWE deleted a tweet about NXT being a part of the draft, so now people are saying that NXT is not a part of the draft. I don't see why not. I really don't. The fuck does NXT exist for?
They don't know. To be honest, I kind of like the random. Remember before we, get the inside scoop weeks before it happened about an NXT call up? I like watching a random Raw, and all of a sudden, boom, we got an NXT star on the show. Is he staying up? Is he called up? Is he going back? Remember when Kevin Owens showed up with the damn title on the shoulder and beat John Cena?
Yeah, that was great.
Man, that was fucking. We don't get that anymore, man. Before you go to the main roster, you lose at a takeover, and then you show up on the main roster, and then you feud with Baron Corbin.
I think I truly think the last time I was excited about an NXT call-up, and I'm not even kidding you, it was Enzo and Cass. When they made their debut, the fucking crowd went crazy for them against the Dudleys. That was the last time there was any genuine excitement around a NXT call-up. The Revival failed. Everybody else after that failed. Nobody else really feels the same. But Enzo and Cass tore the building down, and they debuted them in the right place, too, in Brooklyn, where both of them are from.
They did. They already ruined.
And then they ruined.
They already ruined Adam Cole's call-up. He already showed up in the Rumble. You showed up at the Rumble. That should be your debut. That should be your call-up. You show up at the Rumble, and you go back to NXT and start losing. Come on, man. We're not talking about some random, performance center NXT guy. You got the top guy at NXT. That's a call-up. You're on a main roster pay-per-view. You're called up. Then you're sitting back down. Then you're called up again.
It's amazing. I'm thinking about all this shit, man. You're talking about calling people up and people getting ruined. I mean, look at the Viking Raiders. Look at Aleister Black. Look at Ricochet. I mean, I say it all the time because I don't think anybody has genuinely an answer outside, oh, Vince is fucked up and Bruce is fucked up. How do you fuck up these types of characters? How do you fuck these guys up? Keith Lee is another one. Keith Lee doesn't feel the same anymore. After 1 month, he doesn't feel the same.
No. Keith Lee, they got Keith Lee and they got Matt Riddle on the main roster, and neither one of them are doing anything. They can put them in a feud with each other, and it'd be the best thing on the main roster.
I don't know. I don't know how anybody would have a Keith Lee and a Matt Riddle on your roster, and you want to wait to push them. Then they called up fucking Dijakovic, who was great in his own right. Listen, he was kind of boring as a character. How long would that character go under that current circumstance? I don't know. But Jesus Christ, give him a fucking chance. Now you put him in a Bane mask and you fucking buried him along with 4 of his other colleagues that he was on the show with 2 months ago. I'm
sorry, I don't know who Dijakovic is.
my buddy T-Bar.
Oh, T-Bag.
T-Bag, yeah. T-Bag.
Yeah, him I know. Yeah. It's fucking sad, man. It's just sad, dude. It's kind of depressing at this point, but yeah, I don't think Gargano or this is the worst thing about Candice LeRae getting called up. She was never NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah, she wasn't. Yeah, she was never. You know why? Because they waited too long to fucking. They had no plans for Candice LeRae.
Yeah, not only that, for the most part of her run, outside of an Oscar, or unless I'm missing somebody else, she has always been the best wrestler in that women's locker room. Yeah. Always. From the time she signed with NXT, Candice LeRae was amazing in the ring. And the people who watch WWE and only NXT will never know that. If you don't take the time to go out and research her old matches and everything, you'll never know how tough that woman is. She is no joke.
Yeah,
dude.
she's in the same vein of all the women that I actually really enjoy watching wrestle, because she wrestles like one of the guys. She doesn't give a fuck about what happens to her or how risky something is. She will do it. That's what I love about her so much.
She don't care. She'll get in the ring with guys and just throw punch for punch, dude. Bleed. She does not fucking care. But in NXT, she was a prissy good girl, which, look, I'm okay with that too, because maybe they're going to turn that heel side and come out, and then she can become the real, dominant wrestler she is. And they did turn her, and now they have nothing for her, and they're probably going to move her out to the main roster.
Yeah. At least. I mean, listen, man, speaking of bad and speaking of ruined right now, what has happened to the Velveteen Dream? I mean, I don't know how anybody else feels about Dream. You may be a fan of the Dream. You still might be a big fan of the Dream like we all once were. You might find him to be fucking revolting and disgusting now after what had happened and what he was accused of. But all I know is, man, watching Velveteen Dream tonight and watching his match with Kushida, I love what Dream is as far as what he presents himself to be in the ring. But man, I don't know what happened to the character along the way. I don't know if it's something that he wanted to do to come back and maybe be different from what he was. Maybe what he used to be kind of would just even be worse added on top of what he was accused of because of the gimmick he played. But he doesn't feel like Velveteen Dream anymore. And that entire appeal about what made him so special, man, it's not there anymore. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he's ever going to recover. I hope he does, but I just don't hope. I hope he doesn't go down this road where we never see that Dream back again. How do you feel about Velveteen Dream after tonight?
I think they're treading lightly with Dream, and I mean, it doesn't look like they're putting any kind of long-term stock in him right now. To be honest, I don't even want to talk about the guy. I'm serious. I'm just like, he's there. And I've always been a fan of Dream, but yeah, right now he's about the same. He came out today. I saw a lot of people didn't understand. Thought he looked like Albert Einstein. He came out dressed like Doc Brown from Back to the Future.
Well, yeah, I mean, that goes based on what Kushida's gimmick is.
Yeah, a lot of people, I saw people in the chat say they didn't understand what he was wearing. But that's always been normal. He's always come out in something anti of his opponent,
Yeah.
That's been his thing. But as far as I don't know where they're going with him. They're not pushing him. He's just losing when he comes back. There's something. The feeling is just not right with Velveteen Dream right now. I cannot find myself in good faith to go out and cheer or enjoy what he does in the ring, knowing what he was accused of and what came of it, which was nothing. Nothing was resolved from it. He wasn't vindicated. He wasn't. He just waiting for it to all go away, and that just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I don't know if it's ever going to go away. I don't know if you've seen what Triple H said about the Velveteen Dream on the Q&A before they did Takeover tonight on YouTube. He talked about the Kushida Velveteen Dream match, and Triple H acknowledged that Dream has had a rough year, quote unquote, and is now reorganizing himself. The rough year for Dream includes a car accident, if you guys remember that, and allegations that he sent inappropriate photos and texts to young kids. So that was not said directly by Triple H, but it seemed to be what was implied in the comments and the way that they were, said by Triple H. So he said that it feels like Kushida is getting a rub from Dream, who's been coming off a rough year from Velveteen Dream and reorganizing himself. Dream is one of those young guys that still hasn't quite found his way yet of who he wants to be, and I think sometimes that weighs on him. Then he says this, Jesse, his immaturity in his life presents itself in his professional life and makes it difficult for him sometimes, end quote. Man, is that a fucking understatement of the century, huh?
God, dude. I mean, seriously. Choose your words wisely, man. Immature? Yeah, I don't see how they can keep pushing this guy. And the more live crowd, there was some boos when he came out, and I couldn't tell if those were piped in boos or the crowd booing.
Dude, when he came out, there was fucking silence. Silence when he came out.
Yeah, I've never heard that before from Dream coming out. Never.
And God knows what's going to happen when there's actual human beings there. Real fans, not fucking friends and family.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to, I mean, look, they should just go ahead. I mean, I guess I kind of see the predicament they're in. They're going to let this guy go, and he's going to pop up on AEW television tomorrow. That's what they fear.
Yeah, but under what character? He can't. What is it going to be? Patrick Clark? He's going to be a nobody.
Patrick Clark is a people know who Patrick Clark is, dude. I mean, it's not like him, changing his name from Rusev to Miro. But Patrick Clark will get over as Patrick Clark. I mean, he just, WWE doesn't own flamboyancy. I mean, he can be flamboyant. He just can't be Velveteen Dream.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if Tony would pick up on that guy, because again, man, he is nuclear heat right now.
Yeah, and this match seemed to indicate that he is being taught a lesson of sorts, I would say. I don't know if you picked up on that, but let me get into the details of this match here. Kushida came out in street clothes. I don't know if he's undergoing a slight gimmick change and he's moving away from the Back to the Future shit, which I hope that they don't move away from that because it's very unique for him, and I think he's great. This was actually Kushida's first takeover show ever, which is very hard to believe, and I've been pushing for a push for Kushida for a very long time, so I'm happy to see him on a takeover show. So he dominated the first few minutes of this match. He looked really physical. He really did a good job at making this feel like a fight because he wanted to get back at Velveteen Dream. Dream landed some cheap shots early, kind of shifted the pace into his own, and then moving the match back to the floor, inside the ring, back to the floor. He used a Randy Savage-esque axe handle drop from the top rope to the floor, then rolled Kushida into the ring for a 2 count. Now, I don't know if you picked up on this, Jesse. It's in the notes here. I think I noticed it a little bit during the Damien Priest and Johnny Gargano match. Vic Joseph was on commentary, okay? We heard Wade Barrett, and we heard Beth Phoenix. But during this match, there was a clear shot of a redhead sitting next. I don't look like Sasha Banks to me. I don't know who the fuck it was. But
thank you.
But Vic Joseph was sitting next to a redhead and somebody who I think was like a fucking stunt double for Wade Barrett. This is the first time I've ever seen gimmick commentators on a pro wrestling show. Like, yes, we hear them, but to put somebody out there to pretend that they are them when they look nothing like them, I mean, I would rather just Vic Joseph be out there by himself. WWE really made themselves look like a bunch of fucking amateurs with that tonight. I don't know if you've seen that.
I'm sitting there like, did Beth Phoenix dye her hair red? What the? Like, that's fucking Sasha. And I'm like,
That's
okay,
so
you know
ridiculous.
what? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, no, that makes no sense. Beth must have dyed her hair.
I don't know, man. You're better off not even... Listen, they're not there, okay?
They're live.
They're not there. We're live, we hear them, but don't put somebody out there that is fucking half the size of Beth Phoenix on commentary. I mean, give me a break.
Why would she not be out there?
I don't know. Well, she's home. She's working remote like Moro was working.
But okay, but we're live though. They couldn't send in their commentary.
I don't know. Dude, I don't know how it works. If I have a Q&A, you know, if I'm allowed on one of these Q&As ever, man, and we're still in this pandemic shit, that'd be the first thing I do. How does this work? You're live, but I hear them live. Like, where are they?
So if she's on commentary, but that was not her, I mean, if she didn't dye her hair red, that means she's in Gorilla doing commentary.
Gotta be. I don't know why she wouldn't be. I don't know why she wouldn't be out in the ring by ringside.
Yeah. So why does Beth not want to be on TV? I think I remember asking that question like a few weeks ago. Has she been on TV lately at all?
No, she hasn't been on TV since WrestleMania.
Why does Beth Phoenix not shown up on NXT, but she's heard every week?
I don't know. Same thing with Moro before he quit.
It's weird.
Got to be COVID related. I'm not sure, but that just looked very odd to me. It was very apparent in this match. So I was in the notes. I got to bring it up. It's just fucking. It really looks stupid. So shame on WWE for putting people in there as fucking gimmick stunt doubles as commentators. Come on. Anyway, the match was back in the ring after the double axe handle by Velveteen Dream. Dream had all his hair, like Jesse said, dyed gray to fit. It looked like Don King almost, but I get the Back to the Future reference there. I like that one better. He did a Bronco Buster to Kushida, and I'm not sure if that was the right move in this situation with Dream going through what he's going through, but here we are. Then he screamed at Kushida, "Boo me now." Or the crowd, I guess. So he yelled at the crowd saying, "Boo me now." Kushida did, like I said, a really good job at making this feel like a brawl. We saw some of his flashy offense like we usually see. But most of what he did here was brawl and ground and pound, and really made this into a fight. He did a drag, an arm drag, to Dream's arm into the ring post. He did this a couple of weeks back to injure Dream's arm. Then he did it here again. And Dream caught Kushida later on in the match with a super kick to the face. Kushida responded with another arm bar working on the arm. Dream slid to the floor and escaped. He then used a power bomb for a 2. Kushida transitioned into the same arm bar working on the same arm. Dream used strikes to break the hold. He did a Death Valley driver, which he calls the Dream Valley driver, of course. Then he landed the Purple Rainmaker off the top rope for a 2 count. Actually, he couldn't make the pin enough. He did get the pin, but it was only a 2 count. His hesitation cost him the 3. Dream climbed up to the top, but Kushida dashed to the top and launched Dream with an avalanche hoverboard lock, but he couldn't get to the top. Dream went for another Dream Valley driver. He landed it, but Kushida held on to the hoverboard lock and tapped Dream out immediately, and Kushida wins. After the match, Kushida just absolutely destroyed Velveteen Dream. He laid hard palm strikes, elbows, locking in armbar submissions. There was a bunch of referees trying to break this up. And this looks to be a different spin on Kushida's character, a little bit more intense, a little bit more brutal. But it seemed to me, Jesse, I don't know if you got that vibe, that WWE, NXT, and management maybe wanted to teach Velveteen Dream a lesson on screen with this beatdown from Kushida. Did you get that feeling?
It's like they're trying to do a double turn.
I don't know.
They're trying to turn Dream back to babyface.
I don't know. I don't think that's going to work, but I honestly think a lot of people enjoyed the beatdown. I think a lot of the people that are Dream detractors right now enjoyed what happened to Dream tonight.
Somebody who's a Dream detractor for the reasons that I am right now, seeing him get beat down in the kayfabe storyline is not going to make me feel better. All right, so
well, some of these people think it's real, bro. I don't know.
That's what you get from what you did to those kids. You get beat up by Kushida. That's not gonna fucking cut it, bro. Everybody knows how I feel about Tessa Blanchard right now. I would welcome her back with open arms compared to Velveteen Dream right now.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if it's the same in your opinion with Dream as it is Tessa. I know you talked to me about Tessa. I talked about this on one of the extras I did this week, Tessa, I think she's one of the best female wrestlers in the world. And that has not changed. But as far as what she's done, and I agree with what you told me, I don't know the criteria of people that will accept her and how they will accept her, when will they accept her. I think she's going to come back to TV, and it's still going to be a very volatile situation. But like you said, man, with Tessa and Dream, I don't think Dream is going to be given the opportunity to say anything because now he's back on TV and WWE just wants to sweep it under the rug. But for Tessa, you said all she has to do is apologize and be a genuine human being, and she has yet to do that.
That's it. All this heat with Tessa Blanchard, all this shit with all these different people accusing her of all these different things. Everybody deserves a second chance. Nobody is so far bad they can't go on and get another chance. All you gotta do is apologize for what you did wrong. And the more you come out and insult everyone's intelligence by saying that they're all lying on you for no apparent reason and they're just all targeting you, the worse you make yourself look. Just come out and bite the bullet and then go away for a little bit, come back, say you did some sensitivity training and some self-reflection and you want to be a better person and you just want a second shot. By all means, come right in and hope that the locker room accepts your second chance. And if they do, go out there and work. But going away, then coming back and saying, they're still lying on me. Like, whatever, man. Just go away. I don't want to fucking hear it. Because you couldn't have learned from your mistakes if you're still denying them.
Yeah.
And if you're truly honest about not doing this shit, then you would be a lot more upset about your accusers than you are.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, again, I'm sorry.
Who was? I think it was Joey Ryan that he's come out and filed a class action lawsuit against his accusers from the hashtag movement and everything else.
Yep.
That sounds like somebody who's genuinely pissed about some false allegations against him.
Mm-hmm.
He took the time to get an attorney and file a lawsuit. And not saying that, that he's telling the truth, but it feels like he has a lot to lose. He did nothing wrong and he wants to fight back against his accusers.
But even Jack Gallagher came out today and actually admitted inappropriate behavior and apologized in a written statement. So he actually owned up to everybody and admitted that he had done inappropriate behavior and he apologized for it. Done.
Let some time go by, take some and do some things to get yourself better and go try to get a job. And for the people who want to say, oh, well, he did this. This employer can easily come back and say, look, he did wrong and he admitted it and he apologized. And we're going to give him a second chance.
Yeah.
That's it. Simple as that. How can you argue with that?
Now, if Dream did that, would it be something that people accept? I mean, is that the right move for Dream, or are you just going to do the WWE thing and sweep it under the rug? Which is the right way to go here?
Yeah, you can't admit to doing that stuff with kids, man. That's a little bit different.
Yeah.
That's kind of messed up, man. I mean, you can't come out and say, yeah, I tried to lure in minors to have sex with them, but I'm sorry. No, man. There's some things will not float, especially with parents, and I'm sure a majority of WWE fans are parents.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, look, I'll be happy to say that we have all the answers right here on these little podcasts, but we don't have all the answers. But I know what he did was terrible, and if he admits it, his career is over.
Well, hopefully he can bounce back from it. I'm still a fan of Velveteen Dream. I think the character has a lot of leg to it. I've said it once before. I think he's under the right circumstances with the right gimmick when it's flowing. I mean, you don't see anything like it in WWE. The charisma's off the charts. I could see him being a future champion down the line. Hopefully he could get shit right and bounce back from this. It's going to be a long time. Santos Escobar, man, versus Isaiah Swerve Scott for the NXT Cruiserweight title. I said this before with you in the beginning of the show. I love both of these guys. I even said it on Twitter. If I was to build a roster, two of my guys, no question, would be Santos Escobar and Isaiah Swerve Scott. I think they are great. This is a Lucha Underground throwback. King Cuerno versus Killshot in Lucha Underground, if you guys watched Lucha Underground back in the day. So these guys are very familiar with each other. But, man, oh man, it seems like the Cruiserweight Championship is on the back burner right now. There really isn't any momentum behind said championship. Santos Escobar is not really doing anything with the championship. They're not doing anything with Santos Escobar to really play into the aspect of him, recreating the cruiserweights in his own image or the luchadors in his own image. I mean, I think they're dropping the ball with this. no question. And I feel like if they're going to move on from Swerve and they're going to give us whoever they gave us tonight, what's his fucking name? Adonis? I don't even know his name. Ashante Adonis. That came out tonight. And I have no fucking clue who he is. He might have been on 205 Live. I mean, if you guys expect me to be watching 205 Live to know who fucking Ashante Adonis is, I mean, you got another thing coming. I mean, give me a break. But this Cruiserweight division is sorely lacking, and they are dropping the ball on Santos Escobar, man. They could be doing so much more with this shit. Give me a Lucha House Party. Give me a fucking Dominic Mysterio. Bring Rey Mysterio down and do something with the Cruiserweight title with him and Santos. Something. Or have Santos Escobar show up on Monday Night Raw or something and fucking challenge Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio, man. That would be the way to go here. Dominic challenging for the title that his father made relevant. What are we doing with this shit?
I think what they need to do, I mean, if I'm the one booking it, I would put the Cruiserweight title in the same boat with the women's title and the tag titles, and all those champions float between all three divisions, including Escobar.
Absolutely.
So.
They got to do something with this. It ain't working. I mean, if you're going to give me one Cruiserweight per cycle here for Santos Escobar, I mean, it's not working. It's not making him look good. It's not making the title look good. But this match was, up until this point, the match of the night for me. This was very good, and that was to be expected with both of these guys. Escobar hit the ramp. He had a lucha mask on. He was wearing a sombrero. He looked really legit. Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza both came in to stand next to him on suits. They walked down the ramp, and they took his entrance gear, and then actually they went to the back. They weren't even at ringside, which I like. I like that. That was a nice little attention to detail there. Santos Escobar did not have them by ringside the entire match. I like when heels do that. I don't need you right now. You come out when you feel I need you. So I love that. I didn't even realize they weren't there, and I'm like, okay, we're watching a great match one-on-one. Hopefully nothing happens here. But Swerve was early on here, escaped an armbar. Head scissor takedown by Escobar. Swerve rolled through. Head scissors by Swerve. We've seen a lot of back and forth, high-flying stuff here between these guys. Swerve deadlifted Escobar, rolled forward for a 2 count. Couple of reversals here in the early going. Kick to the midsection by Scott, forearm by Escobar. Back and forth they went. So Swerve put Escobar's arm on the cable holding the turnbuckle. So the cable in between the turnbuckle and the steel post, wrenched it down, and back in the ring, Swerve wrenched the same arm and splashed it. Escobar grabbed the rope to try and to create some separation. Swerve worked a submission, but Escobar broke the hold, and he got that to break there. Swerve went to the apron and dropped Escobar's arm over the rope. Escobar shoved Swerve into the plexiglass and hit him with a tope, which looked absolutely fucking ridiculous. It looked great against the steel barricade there that they got in this new Performance Center. So he hit the tope, rolled back into the ring for a 1 count. Escobar hit a high double knee in the corner, set Swerve up on the top rope for a Frankensteiner. Escobar dropped an elbow, got a 2 count, leaned on Swerve against the bottom rope, taunted him for a little bit, started slapping him around. Escobar puts boots to Swerve, who's on the mat. He gets to his feet. The two exchange rights. Swerve put Escobar in the corner and went at hard with Escobar just throwing fists. Big Swerve lariat in the center of the ring, back elbow in the corner. Flying European uppercut. Escobar went back to the outside, and he got nailed in the face with a Swerve kick. Then they came back into the ring. Swerve hit a rolling thunder flatliner for a 2. So we speeded up to the end of this match here. So we got a situation where Swerve dropkicked Escobar, hit a DDT from the second rope, tornado DDT. So the two were actually battling on the rope, and then all of a sudden, Escobar's gang comes down. We see Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza come down. This distraction allowed a shoulder breaker by Escobar. Both guys went to the apron. Swerve crotched Escobar on the top. He took Escobar off the top with a Rana right into both Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde. This looked fucking stupid because they were both, all three of these guys were just standing there. Escobar was on the second rope waiting for Swerve to do this move. And then Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde were just literally looking up for, had to be a good 10 seconds, just waiting for the move to happen. It looked fucking stupid. So they got taken out. And then all of a sudden, we got Ashante Adonis showing up. He evened the odds. He chased Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde away. Escobar hit the Phantom Driver Swerve kicked out. Escobar sold the shock of it. He thought it was a 3 count. Escobar then hits the 3 amigos. Escobar went up and missed the frog splash. Swerve stomped Escobar's left arm and hit his big finish, the house call. He didn't end it there. He went up top and got a little greedy. Hit the 450 splash, which I thought was the end of the match, and it wasn't. He only got a very close 2 count. All of a sudden, we see the action finally spill to the outside. Escobar blocked a half-and-half suplex, and Escobar shoved Swerve back on the ring apron. He fell backwards on the ring apron, and the back of his head hit the exposed cable between the post and the turnbuckle. So back in the ring, double underhook facebuster in the ring, and that was it to finish Isaiah Swerve Scott. Escobar retains the title. This was the best match up until this point. At all, Jesse, did you give a shit about any of this? And what do you think of the match itself as far as these two guys in the ring?
The Walking Dead premieres tonight.
Oh, I see you were channel surfing then.
Man, I watched the match. I mean, I don't channel surf, but I kept thinking about Walking Dead premiere. It just was not interested, man.
Listen, man, I was happy the Cruiserweight Championship was back on a takeover. You know, I think this was a long time coming, but like I said, man, it boils down to they got to give a little bit more attention to detail. They got to give a little bit more care to this Cruiserweight division. It's just not working. And like I said, I think the only remedy here is what you brought up before. It's got to be a roaming championship. It really does. The tag team championships need to be consolidated. The women's championships need to be consolidated. And the Cruiserweight championship in NXT needs to be a roaming championship. No question. That would fix a lot of things.
Yeah, they could have so many fantastic matches with Escobar and guys in the Cruiserweight division across all 3 brands.
I mean, bro, we mentioned this how many times? We mentioned this on a couple of reviews. I mean, Escobar versus Dominic, Escobar versus Ray, Escobar versus Ricochet, Escobar versus Ali, Escobar versus Cedric. I mean, Escobar versus Shelton Ben. What the names go on and on. Chad Gable, you know.
It would be so, and you can have it across different shows, different time slots. I mean, have it main event a Raw one time. You know, I mean, you can have so much fun with it. And right now, it's boring. Fantastic match. You know, probably 4 stars. Didn't give a single shit.
Yeah, I agree. Escobar retains the title, and something needs to be done with the Cruiserweight Championship, most definitely. Guys, we are at 1,100 in the chat. Hoot Media in the chat. Are we still number 1 for the night? Hoot Media, hit those thumbs up, guys. We are well over 500 right now. Let's start the climb to 1,000 thumbs up. There's almost 1,100 of you in the chat, man, so I know there's a couple of geeks in this chat that haven't hit the thumbs up. What the hell are you waiting for? Super chats are open as well, so get them on in, and we will go over them at the end of the show. I'll wait on Hoot Media's analytic expertise here. Number 1 in the IWC. Thank you guys so very much. I know there's a lot of guys streaming their podcast tonight live on YouTube. And I want to thank you guys for joining us and making us your number 1 stop. Hoot Media says, still number 1, man. Abso-fucking-lutely, man. Io Shirai, Jesse versus Candice LeRae, NXT Women's title. Couple years back, I raved about this match at TakeOver Toronto, Jesse. Are you familiar with that match back a couple years ago between these two ladies? It wasn't even for a championship, and it was the best women's match of the entire year that year.
Oh, I've seen it, but I don't remember it, though, to be honest.
You don't remember? What the fuck you doing here then, bro? I'm going to have to dump you.
Too much wrestling, that's what.
Anyway.
It's starting to bleed together, man.
I know. Yeah, listen, I agree with you there, but they had the best women's match of the year, NXT TakeOver Toronto. Fucking phenomenal. And I was hoping that this match would be able to live up to what they did back then. It was not anywhere near as good as that. Still good. Still a highlight of the show. Io Shirai retains the NXT Women's Championship in what I thought was a very overbooked match. What'd you think of the ending here, Jesse? And did you think that it needed to happen based on the talent of both of these women? Did it come off a little main roster-esque to you, the way Johnny Gargano came in there with the referee shirt and Candice? I get that she's a heel, wanted to cheat, but I don't think these ladies needed it. I didn't think it needed to be this overbooked.
No, I don't get it. I mean, first off, he comes out there with a referee shirt on. So what if he would have counted 3? Then what? And second of all, why would he stop? He stopped the count because she kicked out. If somehow you think you have the ability to count to 3, just count the fucking 3.
Yeah.
You didn't stop at 2. So, she got her arm up. What the fuck? What are you here for?
And like you said before, like you told me via text, dude, and I absolutely agree with this. I'm looking at this too, and I said it to a couple people. They were asking me, "What do you think of the match?" Overbooked is all I said. Overbooked. I even told you how ridiculous. And then again, you know the situation happened that I'm going to describe right now, and I even said it in capital letters to you. How fucking ridiculous. The referee is there arguing with Johnny Gargano, who's wearing a fucking referee shirt. He's not a referee in any sense. He's got the title. He drops the fucking title to Candice LeRae for her to use it to cheat. He doesn't see the title hit the fucking mat. He doesn't hear anything going on behind him. He's just telling Johnny Gargano to take his shirt off and get out of the ring. He's trying to eject Johnny Gargano. Meanwhile, you got a match going on, and you don't know what's going on behind you. You don't feel it going on behind you. You worry about this geek? It just looked ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't... Usually you put all these smoke and mirrors and all this stuff together when you got 2 people in the ring who can't put together a decent match on their own. So you put all these different, run-ins and shenanigans in to make it an interesting match. But you literally have 2 of the best women on your roster going at it in a pay-per-view. You could just ring the bell once, then ring it twice, and let them deliver everything in between. And they couldn't do that.
Yeah, I find that very hard to believe with these 2 women, but minus the little silliness at the end, I thought this was a very good match, and like I said, it was not anywhere near as good as their TakeOver Toronto match a couple years back. They complement each other so well. Io, in a lot of circles is heralded as the best women's wrestler in the world. I would not argue that if you said that to me. Candice LeRae is fucking great as well. She wrestles like I want a female wrestler to wrestle. She wrestles with the guys. She wrestles like the guys, and that's exactly what I want. I don't want somebody going in there fucking, oh my God, I broke a nail. Oh my God, my hair extensions. Oh my God, my makeup smeared. No, she goes in there. She doesn't give a fuck. She bleeds. She bleeds. She fucking breaks a limb. She breaks a limb. She'll come right back and do it again if she had to. That's what I like in a women's wrestler. So these 2 complement each other so well. Io the same way. She'll fucking go in there. She don't give a shit what happens to herself. So from the bell, these 2 were exchanging holds, aerial moves. This was right from the start, very hot. Both did dives to the floor, only a couple of minutes in. LaRae slowed the pace down midway. They worked over Io here, or she worked over Io, I should say, with a couple of submissions. She was working a very methodical style to ground Io and her aerial game. So after a few minutes of this, Shirai came back, made a babyface comeback. LaRae missed a senton, which allowed Shirai to keep LaRae down with a double stomp. LaRae later then intercepted Shirai from the top and powerbombed her, but Shirai no-sold it and stuffed LaRae with a meteor in the corner. Lots of back and forth here. LaRae landed a lion salt in the ring for a 2, which always looks great. Shirai then locked on a label lock, and LaRae reversed it into the Gargano escape, and Shirai broke the hold. LaRae then broke the hold, accidentally took out the referee with a accidental back elbow. It didn't look quite accidental to me, but anyway, she hit the referee with a back elbow. And while he sold, Shirai landed an air raid crash on Candice, then went for a moonsault. LaRae blocked it with her knees. Shirai then, again, goes up top, and I think she actually inadvertently hit the referee coming off the top rope with a moonsault. So in that moonsault phase where LaRae got the knees up, Io was selling the move and then backed into the referee, which added punishment on top of the Candice LeRae elbow from earlier, and he rolled out of the ring. So at this point, he was completely out of commission in this match. He landed on the floor. LaRae used a curb stomp and tried to pin Shirai, but the ref was still selling on the floor. Johnny Gargano ran out with a referee shirt and tried counting a fast 3. Shirai kicked out instantly. Gargano then rushed to the floor, grabbed the women's title belt from the timekeeper, yelled, "It's hers, it's hers." And he argued with the referee inside the ring because at this point he was revived. So he seen Gargano with the referee shirt. He was trying to hide the title behind his back. He then slipped the title to Candice LeRae. She used it on Io, but at that point, she had the title, nailed Io with it. She goes for the cover. Io still kicks out. Nobody can believe it. Shirai was able to land a beautiful avalanche Spanish fly and then landed the moonsault to pin Candice LeRae and win the women's championship. As far as the in-ring action, Jesse, what'd you think of this match? I know we talked about LaRae and Johnny possibly being brought up to the main roster. I'm glad it's not Io going to the main roster because I think she would just end up like everybody else and feel ordinary. But what'd you think of the match here? And do you think, again, doubling down on what we said, Candice is due for the main roster?
I think this match was fucking great. I don't think it's possible for Io Shirai and Candice LeRae to get into a ring and have a bad match.
No.
I think it's literally absolutely fucking possible. So it's just a matter of how great it was. I mean, I thought this match was just fucking great. Like I said, I mean, Candice she has to be the absolute best wrestler in that locker room. I mean, you can argue Io, but that's about it. And Io, I can watch Io in the ring all damn day, man.
Same thing here, man. I could watch Toni Storm all day in the ring, too, and she actually showed up on the big screen after this match was over. She appeared on the monitors on the big LED boards that is now the mini Thunderdome at the new PC. Toni Storm appeared on the monitors, and she said she's back. It always has and always will be Toni time, and then called out Io Shirai. And while Shirai was in the ring after Toni Storm's promo, we saw another vignette on the screen, and this was the motorcycle kind of black and night visioned vignette that they were playing. Someone drove to the Capitol Wrestling Center on a motorcycle, and we've been seeing these motorcycle vignettes with a disguised voice on NXT TV for the last 2 weeks. Everybody thought it was going to be Bo Dallas coming back and trying to reclaim the NXT Championship. And then this person came onto the entrance ramp, and it was Ember Moon. Ember Moon made her return. She looked a little Mad Max-ish, and she had a new haircut, new makeup. She didn't say anything. She didn't really have to. She smiled. Io smiled. And man, this, whatever the case may be, if these two are going to be feuding over the Women's Championship, that is not only a nice double surprise with Toni Storm and Ember Moon, but Ember Moon, Io, Toni, Io, bro, the women's division just got fucking ramped up to 11 on TakeOver 31.
It did. My only concern, my only hope, and my only prayer here is Ember Moon needs to stay healthy down here in NXT.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot stress that enough, man. She needs to stay healthy. She needs to prove that she is not injury prone and that she's fine. She cannot get hurt. She cannot get hurt again in this stint.
No, it's sad, and to allude to what you just said, injury prone, man. She can't end up like a Tegan Nox. I really feel like Tegan Nox and her career is over. And I hate saying that, but there's no way ever that Triple H or NXT management's going to look at her and have any faith in her whatsoever after this latest injury. She didn't even do anything in the ring and she got hurt.
Yeah, that's not good. And she's awesome, though.
She really is. She's one of my favorites there.
Yeah, she is great. The feud they had building with her and Candice, man, I was waiting for that. Man, that's messed up, man.
It actually throws a wrench into a couple of plans. It throws a wrench into Tegan Candice. It throws a wrench into Dakota and Tegan, right? So.
Oh yeah, Dakota and Tegan, they had a built-in. Right? They could have fought any pay-per-view.
You talk about fight forever.
Yeah, that's terrible, man. That's gotta hurt. But Ember, I mean, again, man, she has to stay healthy. I hope she stays healthy. If she does, she will lead that division again. Her and Toni and Io, they will lead that division.
Yeah, another thing I wanted to say, because I love Ember Moon. I'm glad she's back. I'm glad, all the rumors about her and her career being over with this injury, which should have never happened. I'm glad we're just fabricated and just false. Glad she's back. I can't wait to see what she does in the ring. But what does this mean, Jesse, when you take somebody like, and this is, I mentioned on the show earlier, this is going to be another Finn Balor situation. It's almost going to be like you're resuscitating somebody's career. Finn Balor was great in NXT, got called up to the main roster, and became nothing more than a fucking glorified toothpaste and underwear model on Monday Night Raw. And then he gets brought back down to NXT, and this is the best version of Finn Balor that we've seen in his entire WWE run. With that, and now Ember Moon, how does it make the main roster look like? It's almost as if they don't give a fuck with this talent that they've just been gifted. They don't know how to push anybody. Does it make the main roster feel like a failure when you have someone like Finn Balor, who sucked on the main roster, is great now, NXT champion, Ember Moon, who was fucking ruined on the main roster, now she's back in NXT, pretty sure Triple H is going to give her preferential treatment. What does it say and what does it speak about when you look at the main roster in NXT when something like this happens?
You know, the main roster kind of feels like a kid with a room full of toys. You know, you put a kid in a room full of toys, and the toy they're playing with is the most important toy and the best toy in the world. Until they put that toy down and find another toy in the room and start playing with that one, the toy they just had means nothing now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it is. So at least I hope they don't think that there was no value in Ember Moon, but they just they dedicate so little time to the women's division, and they have so many women to showcase, and they have the titles and everything else. They just don't have time to build the number of women that they have on the main roster. They just don't have time. So, I mean, Ember's great. I think she should be in the top echelon. I think a lot of women in the locker room should be in the top tier in the main roster, but they all can't be. And WWE is not good at having mid-card storylines for the women and storylines that are not including the title. So everybody just sits around and catering. So Ember Moon coming back and being a big star, the women get more segments on NXT than they do on the main roster between both shows. I mean, they actually get time to develop feuds, even ones that don't involve titles. So Ember Moon will be around a title, nonetheless, I'm sure. Even if she's not, she'll be in something meaningful. So I don't know. I mean, they can't build everybody. I understand. See, AEW is doing an awesome job at building so many different people and having nothing but a 2-hour show. You can't do everybody every week. That's why some weeks we don't see some people.
Yeah.
You know, there's a way to do it. You just have to take the time to figure it out. And they don't do that at the main roster. Maybe it's because of Vince. I don't know. But everything is booked on the fly. Everything is booked 10 minutes before the show goes on.
Yeah, I don't know what the issue is on the main roster. I mean, this is best for her anyway. I mean, just look at the women that they should be pushing on the main roster right now. They've had no influence on anything Monday night or Friday night. Ruby Riott deserves a hell of a lot better than what we've been getting. We got Becky Lynch out. Sasha and Bayley are doing their thing. Asuka's doing her thing, but you know, you could see the upper echelon of talent on the main roster, and then you see everybody else underneath them, and WWE hasn't given anybody anything at all. I mean, Shayna Baszler should not be a tag team champion. She should be a dominant fucking alternative to Asuka. Bianca Belair should have been a fucking contender for a championship 3 months into this shit, and she's been off TV since April, and now WWE is just starting to create vignettes for her on her being the EST, which we've already known for about 2.5 years. So I don't need this shit about Bianca Belair. I don't give a fuck. Just put her in the ring. I don't need her to fucking jump rope and lift weights. Just put her in the fucking ring. The thing is, WWE has these storylines, but they mean nothing. Then they put 2-3-minute matches together, expect the women to get over. Like you said, AEW's been doing a very good job with Ivelisse and Diamante and Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida. Anna Jay's even more over now than she was fucking 8 months ago. But NXT, they actually care. They put the competitive aspect of the women's division on the table, and they make it feel important. You'll see women get victories. You'll see on a normal day. Not for this past takeover, on a normal week, building to a takeover with proper build. Women will get victories. You will know who a contender is. You will know who is not a contender. But NXT does it better than a lot of people do with the women. The main roster, man, it's the blonde agenda. It really is. Look at who they're pushing to the forefront with Carmella now coming out doing this whole Emelina shit. That's what they want on the main roster. This is what NXT wants. This is the vision of the women's revolution. And in my eyes, Vince doesn't give a fuck about the revolution. He doesn't. Neither does Bruce or anybody on that show.
What they should have did, I mean, was somebody like Shayna. If they got Charlotte getting ready to go out, for a few months for her own personal issues. Why didn't Shayna murder her?
I don't know.
Why didn't somebody put her on the shelf? What kind of rub could one of these
Nia
women
Jax
have
put her on the
for
shelf.
Putting the great, what kind of rub can one of these women have gotten for putting the great Charlotte Flair on the shelf for a few months?
Nia Jax put her on the shelf, and it wasn't even that. It wasn't even a situation where it was good. You put Nia Jax in that situation when it should have been Shayna, no question. If you knew Charlotte was going to be out, why didn't Shayna put her out? Yes.
Put her out, dude.
I don't know, man. It is what it is. The women's division in NXT got a big boost tonight, and it's going to revert back to what we remember it being, the best in the world. So hopefully Tony and Ember Moon can add a lot to the already great women's division with Rhea. I think she's going to get called up. Candice, everybody's saying tonight that she's going to get called up. We don't know yet. You got Dakota Kai down there still. You got Indy Hartwell there who's coming up. Shotzi's there. So you got some pretty damn good, talented women down there. Hopefully they know what they're doing. NXT Championship match, finally, guys. Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly. This one was built in 2 weeks. Kyle O'Reilly is the number one contender coming into this thing with really no momentum at all. And Finn Balor has been excellent in his role on NXT television. He beat Adam Cole for the title a couple of weeks back, and we got another member of the Undisputed Era stepping up in Adam Cole's absence here to challenge Mr. Finn. This was a very good match. I expected this to be a good match. A lot of people were excited about this match based off these two guys' history. Both guys are phenomenal professional wrestlers. Started off a little slow, which I had no problem with because I knew it was going to turn into a clinic as we got towards the end. Started off very slow. A lot of submissions, a lot of ground-based offense here. Kyle O'Reilly took, like Jesse said, 85% of the offense from Finn Balor in this match. He was on defense for the majority of this match. It was a great story with Kyle O'Reilly trying to come back and overcome Finn Balor. And with the situation in this match, it all got started with a massive kick to the stomach that commentary sold by Balor on O'Reilly, taking the wind out of Kyle O'Reilly, and then an Irish whip into the corner by Finn Balor on O'Reilly that looked very reminiscent of what Bret Hart used to do. Chest first into the top turnbuckle, took the fucking wind right out of his sails, and that was the defining moment of this match until O'Reilly made a comeback in the ending. So O'Reilly was bleeding from the mouth. He took some very hard shots. Balor locked O'Reilly in a sharpshooter at one point, and O'Reilly just barely made it to the ropes for a break. After Balor landed a Pele kick, O'Reilly unleashed some desperation, finally, babyface comeback here. Flurry of strikes, laid Balor out with a running lariat. He then locked on a guillotine choke, which looked brutal as hell. He then eventually moved to an arm lock, which Balor stomped his way out of. Balor landed a 1916. O'Reilly kicked out after a 2 count. When Balor went to the top for a diving double stomp, O'Reilly knocked him from the ropes and started using a dragon screw leg whip on Balor, ripping his knees across the middle rope. Next, he then transitioned from an Achilles lock to a modified heel hook, and then back to an Achilles lock. So this was right in Kyle O'Reilly's wheelhouse here. Balor sold his legs here after O'Reilly started targeting his legs. Balor started selling it, acting as if he couldn't stand up. And then he actually ended up faking it all. He was playing possum. Took O'Reilly down with some quick takedowns and a double stomp after some back and forth, which saw O'Reilly use a brutal flying knee drop on Balor, which was one of my favorite spots in the entire match. Balor was able to land one more double stomp and put O'Reilly away with a coup de grace from the top for a big win, and he retains the NXT Championship. Unbelievable match. As the match was over, Balor and O'Reilly embraced in the middle of the ring, and they raised each other's hands almost as if it was a sign of respect. Just a great professional wrestling match. Really no build coming into it, but if you enjoy pro wrestling, I absolutely urge you to go and watch it. It was really great stuff here. As for Balor and O'Reilly celebrating in the ring together, Ridge Holland all of a sudden appears in the crowd, and he had Adam Cole draped over his shoulder. He stared at O'Reilly and the rest of the Undisputed Era, who were at ringside at this point. He tossed Adam Cole over the barricade to the floor. Cole had his shirt ripped. He looked like he was fucking brutalized by Mr. Holland here, and Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish started yelling for people to come out and help Cole. Balor was bleeding from the mouth at this point. WWE got a great shot of him just bleeding from the mouth at the end of this match. Balor was looking on. He looked concerned. And Bobby Fish was yelling at Balor, I know you didn't do this. And Balor denied anything or having involvement in anything here. And that's where the TakeOver broadcast did end. And Ridge Holland with Adam Cole. I don't know where it's going with this, but clearly they have big plans in store for Ridge Holland. What did you think of this match, Jesse? Did you enjoy what these two guys created together? And would you say this was the best TakeOver main event of the entire year so far?
Yeah, man. You can't take away from their ring work in this match, man. This was great. This was a fantastic match, and I wouldn't expect less from these two guys, to be honest. I wouldn't expect less from Balor and anybody in the Undisputed Era to put on a match like this. I mean, it really was par for the course, but it's a pretty high, course. So this was great. It looks like they're turning the Undisputed Era babyface. I mean, I heard the stories about they're supposed to be half of them turning, but right now, as it stands, we got Balor who lifted up Kyle's hand at the end of the match. The Undisputed Era didn't even come out for the match, which is one of the heel things they always do. They stayed in the back, and then they got Cole getting beat up and jumped by a bigger heel, I guess. I don't know where the other two were while they were in the back with Cole, but nonetheless, maybe that's the shift. Maybe they're in on it, because where were the other two when Cole was getting beat up?
I don't know. Obviously, it's gonna cause some speculation. It's gonna cause people to really fantasy book this situation. Does Adam Cole get another couple of months in NXT, or does he get his career ruined by Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on the main roster come next week?
Cole is gone, man.
He's done.
You can tell. Yeah, he's done. He's like he's in limbo. They don't know where to interject him, where to put him. I say he shows up in a draft, to be honest. I mean, it kind of looks like they're trying to keep him in the company a little bit longer because of this beatdown storyline, but maybe he gets beat so bad he leaves. I don't know. Maybe he stays. It looks like he's getting ready to stay because they just started a fresh storyline with him now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, which it's good and it's bad at the same time, because we know what he's capable of and where he should be, but at the same time, you're keeping him on NXT to do what? Feud with Ridge Holland? I don't give a fuck about that. I want to see this guy main eventing shows with Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns and really getting his feet wet and becoming a legend like we all know he's capable of. But maybe that's good. Maybe we don't want to see him on the main roster just yet. But if that's the case, if he does go in the draft, where does he end up, on Raw or SmackDown? Or what would be the better fit for him, in your honest opinion?
You can't. It's hard to tell right now because they're getting ready to have a draft, so the rosters are going to be completely different.
But what show would Adam Cole be better fit for, USA or Fox?
Fox.
I was going to say SmackDown myself.
I mean, I don't think it doesn't matter. I mean, if you're just going to put him on a roster now, then yeah, you can say where he would better fit. Place a bit depending on where the rest of the roster is, but we don't know where everybody's going to land. So flip a coin. I mean, come next week, Raw could be the best show, on between the three of them.
Yeah. Because
of the way they split the rosters. But I mean, so where he goes now doesn't matter. They're splitting everything up. Doesn't matter. I want to see where everybody goes. Now, who should he be paired with? He should be somewhere very close to AJ Styles, wherever he is. That's first and foremost. They need to rebuild on their Bullet Club connection and build to an eventual main event between those two guys.
Yeah, I agree with that. And as far as this show goes, no matter what happens to Adam Cole or any of the Undisputed Era, I thought this was the best takeover since Portland. Portland obviously is the best takeover of the entire year so far. And this was, as far as in-ring goes, the best takeover show in the pandemic era. It still doesn't feel like, and it will not feel like, a takeover special like we used to know until legit fans are in attendance. I don't give a shit where they go, what type of building they turn the Performance Center into, how many screens there are, how many gates there are. It doesn't matter. This show was very good as far as an in-ring aspect. The stories weren't there. There wasn't enough to care about and fully sink your teeth into because of the 2-week build This felt like a rushed TV taping for NXT. Hopefully the next takeover has a lot more to care about and plenty of build like we know that they should be doing. But as far as in-ring work, this was the best since Portland. Jesse, your final thoughts before we get into the Super Chat.
It was a good show. Was it takeover worthy? I think it was takeover worthy for 2020. I don't think it was takeover worthy for 2017.
No.
But for what we're getting from the product right now, I mean, the in-ring work. The in-ring work was a fucking 4.5-star show.
Yeah,
it was great. It was great. I mean, it's just the storylines were rushed. Nothing really makes sense as to what's going on. Storylines all over the place, moving parts from the different rosters. So it's kind of a big clusterfuck, But I mean, right now it's just organized confusion, I guess, because the wrestling is fine. It's like if you took the worst creative team ever and put them in NXT to have them make a pay-per-view, they can write some shitty shows, but these guys are going to go out there and bust their ass and put on the 5-star show.
Yeah.
So, but it just makes no sense because the story being told makes no sense.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. This was a great takeover. It wasn't takeover worthy compared to other takeovers. As far as 2020 goes, this was takeover worthy in 2020. Yes, that's the best way for anybody to put it. But we got Super Chats coming up, guys. If you want to hang around with Jesse and I for the next 10 minutes or so, you can certainly do that. You are more than welcome. If you came here for the review portion of the show is over, and we're going to read these Super Chats in just a little bit, man. Quick shout out to Scott in the chat. I just seen his message here. He says, JD, I come to you cause you know the pain when a loved one is taken by cancer. The pain is fresh. She passed yesterday, fought like a warrior, lost all motor skills, and fought. Now I gotta do something. Long shot. I don't know who he's referring to, but Scott in the chat, man, I'm sorry to hear what had happened, bro. I don't know who you're referring to. Family member or whatnot, but everybody in the chat leave Scott some prayer emojis, man. He's going through a hard time, and he's come here for some peace of mind, man, to take his worries away. So everybody in the chat, leave Scott some prayer emojis, man. Sorry with what's going on, man. Thoughts and prayers here from all of the OTS family on the Takeover show for Off the Script. Moving on with the Super Chats here. Papo Jr., $5 Super Chat. First, I want to thank Harry's for my mystery gift. The Winston Razor handle. What the hell? Which one is that, bro? I don't have the Winston Razor handle. OTS number 1 in the IWC, JD. Should I be concerned for the future of NXT? We'll see Wednesday, bro. AEW is my go-to. It's Jesse's go-to. So we'll see what happens on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
JP5150 with a $10 bomb. I fully believe that this show was great overall. Sad to hear Halloween Havoc, one of my favorite shows, has been reduced to a ratings grab to counter AEW. OTS is the source of truth. We never tell lies here. You got that right, brother. You got that right.
I was hoping that was a takeover. I didn't know it was just a fucking Wednesday night.
Yeah, the next takeover is going to be in December, apparently. The next takeover is in December, so it's going to be a TV special. Like I said, it's very hard to believe that Halloween Havoc has been reduced to a TV ratings grab against AEW, but it's going to be interesting to see what AEW does to counter. Yeah,
that's shitty. That I don't like. I mean, I was kind of keen on them bringing it back. I mean, the 28th was that means Saturday is Halloween, right?
Yeah.
They could have did a fucking takeover that Saturday night. Halloween Havoc.
I know. I don't know why they didn't wait.
They could have scrapped this shit. This pay-per-view wasn't needed. And
give us 4 more weeks to build.
Halloween night.
Yeah, and give us 4 more weeks to build. Everything would have been a lot better off.
Yep. Halloween night. Halloween Havoc. I mean, shit, dude.
I know, it's perfect.
It's been awesome, yeah.
Now they got to wait another 7 years for fucking Halloween to fall on a Saturday.
Saturday night. They'll take the kids out trick-or-treating during the day, go watch TakeOver that night. It would have been perfect. It would have been so perfect, man.
Jacob Donnelly with a $10 super chat. Love the in-ring work, but I just feel like there's been so many WWE pay-per-views the past few months that I couldn't get into this show as much as I wanted. Also, it didn't help that no titles were changed. Title doesn't need to change hands. If it makes sense, it makes sense. But, It's either all the titles are going to change hands or none of them are going to change hands. So we got none of them. We could easily made a case for Gargano winning, Candice winning, Swerve winning after how many times he's got a shot at Santos Escobar, and Kyle O'Reilly winning. They went with nobody.
Yeah. The results we get are because they know where these people are going.
Yeah.
And so Candice lost and Johnny lost because they know what's going on for their futures or whatever. Yep. But that's the thing, man. I mean, why is it just such a trope that before you get called up, you have to lose at TakeOver? It's such an ongoing thing. Right before you call up, you lost your title, or you get beat down or kicked out, and then you show up on Raw the next day, injury-free, fresh storyline. The hottest thing in NXT, yet you're not the champion. I mean, it's kind of old.
Yeah. Ulysses, Jacob, thank you for the $10, brother. Ulysses, $5 super chat. I bet you freaked out when Tony Storm and Ember Moon showed up. And who was the Sasha Banks wannabe on the commentary table? We see that wasn't Beth. We have no idea, bro. I got no idea. Jesse's got no idea. But Tony Storm and Ember Moon, we are big supporters of. They're going to do great in the women's division. It was about time Tony finally came over from NXT UK. There was nothing more for her to do over there. Ember Moon, she needs a complete reset. This is the perfect opportunity for her to do that. Kaz became a new member. Thank you, brother. Bradley Robinette, did I miss anything? Should I still watch? Yes, absolutely. Go back and watch Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor. Fantastic match. Io and Candice, really great match. Santos Escobar and Swerve was a great match. Even Johnny versus Priest, very good. But, like I said, man, it doesn't quite feel like TakeOver yet. Hopefully, as we move forward, things will normalize like they should. Kaz with a $10 super chat. Thank you for the membership, brother, and a $10 donation. Kinda said that Kyle didn't win since I was hoping for a hard Kyle O'Reilly champion, but at least they didn't go through an evolution storyline. Maybe someday Roderick could win it for Undisputed Era. I don't see Roderick myself as a world title contender. I think he's more of a middle of the road type of guy, really solid Intercontinental champion, possibly, United States champion, maybe, if he's on the main roster. But I thought Kyle O'Reilly was going to win, but it was more about just building him up for a possible future world championship instead of just making him a champion right now and then making Finn a transitional champion only to get to Kyle O'Reilly. Louis Baez, $9.99, the best duo on the IWC. JD and Jesse, I will say this, I wasn't too excited on watching TakeOver tonight, but afterwards I was a little impressed with what I seen tonight, just my opinion. It was a good show, bro. You got to give credit where credit is due. It's a good show.
I just text you a link from Alex McCarthy's Twitter. He gave an update on Triple H's response to NXT being in the draft.
Yeah, we got some news here, folks. Jesse texted me saying, Alex McCarthy saying, Triple H tells me he doesn't know if NXT is going to be in the draft this week. WWE are still working things out with the draft. They're still working things out. They got a fucking draft 5 days from now. They should already have situations where they know who's going where and what the rosters are going to be. They're still working shit out. Still working things out with the draft, and he's waiting to find out. Also says Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae are just getting going with the Gargano way. There's a long way to go there.
He as a follow-up today. He replied to that tweet himself.
Oh, well.
I'll read it. He says, Triple H expands on this with Sean Ross Sapp and says, just judging by the adverts and the promotion for it, he assumes NXT won't be a part of the draft, but stresses he doesn't really know.
He doesn't know.
He said,
I think that, I believe him because I don't think anybody knows anything. But I hope if it's a case where NXT is involved that they let him fucking know. Not like last time when they called Ricochet, Gargano, Ciampa, and Black up without even notifying him. They just pulled them.
Pull up McCarthy's Twitter timeline because he's giving a lot of fresh news about TakeOver tonight.
Let's see. Let me type it in here.
We got an update on Finn Balor here. Major update. Major.
See. All right, we got some news here, folks, coming in from Alex McCarthy of TalkSport. He says, on the COVID-19 protocols for today, Triple H says everyone in the PC were scanned and tested upon entry. There were pods, apparently. They were escorted to their pods, and they followed safety protocols throughout. Triple H says Capitol Wrestling Center will be for NXT Raw and SmackDown, and they will continue to look and feel different. He thinks when WWE leaves Amway Center Thunderdome, it'll be for something bigger, presumably other venues with fans or other Thunderdome setup. So the Capitol Wrestling Center is going to be for NXT Raw and SmackDown after October. So that's why it looked the way that it did. Now Vince is not going to want to stay there because it still gave off a very independent, PC vibe to it. Indie vibe, yes, absolutely. It gave off an indie vibe, and we all know Vince doesn't want that. So at first chance, Vince is going to want to get out of there. And I hope that we have fans in attendance in some way, shape, or form. There needs to be life in these shows, not just a fucking screen with piped-in crowd noise. So that's that. That's major news there. Because everybody was reporting, they're going to find an outdoor venue. Florida just went into phase 3. Everything is somewhat back to normal in Florida, so we weren't sure what venues they were looking at. Possible fans, this is going to be their venue until they find something more solid. Triple H praises Ridge Holland, saying his skill set is admired by many of the coaches and peers alike. I don't see it. I don't know if you see it, Jesse. I think he's very boring.
No, I don't see it.
There's no character there. I don't know what is so special about Ridge Holland. He looks like a mini young Brock Lesnar when Lesnar came in, and Lesnar was just, he wasn't green. He was just, there was nothing special about him yet, other than his fucking size and his athleticism, which Ridge Holland might have, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, me either.
Stresses the mistake with Johnny Gargano was a timing error that can happen to anyone, nothing to do with being green. He says, I believe in him a lot, and so does everybody else here. Thus, the ending with Adam Cole. So he talks about the draft. Triple H expands on this with Sean Ross Sapp and says, just by judging by the adverts and promotion for it, he assumes NXT won't be a part of the draft, but he stresses he doesn't really know. They never know anything on the main roster. Everybody will know what's going on. The writing team will know at 6 o'clock on Friday night.
Yeah.
That's when they'll know. Triple H says the timing of Ember Moon's return to NXT is all to do with when she was ready following a career-threatening injury above all else. Although he does say we've been looking at bringing her back for a while now. Which might be the case, but how much of that is also on Ember Moon wanting to be in NXT and not wanting to be in the hands of the main roster after what they did to injure her?
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't seem to be the case, and nothing about that is said. If I was on these calls, I'd ask that question. Not because you wanted to bring Ember Moon back. How much of that might be true? How much of it has to do with Ember Moon wanting to be in NXT herself because of the negligence of the main roster that it created?
Yeah, we got one more news story from Mr. McCarthy.
Finn Balor is on his way to the hospital to get an x-ray on his jaw. That's not good.
Not good.
If he's got a broken jaw, that could keep him out for at least 3 months.
Just held on to the title.
So we'll see what happens there.
Ember Moon posted a tweet a couple hours ago. It says, if you #believe, anything can happen.
Ha!
And she retweeted her debut on Takeover. So even she got the rumors. Everybody thought it was Bo Dallas.
Yeah, there you go. She's having some fun with that. I don't think anybody is. I don't think anybody's complaining that Ember Moon's back.
No, man, I don't know why they're looking for something to do with Bo. Put his ass in the funhouse and be done with it.
Yeah.
Man. Easy.
Yeah, put him with the Fiend. Make him a funhouse character. Give him some fucking, creepy, eerie vibe. Put him in the ring. He's probably better than fucking Bray in the ring. I don't know why they're not using him.
Bo is all. Not only that, here's the good thing that Bo can be doing right now. He can go out there and take some heat. He can go out there and take some beatings they don't want the Fiend taking on TV.
Yep.
You don't want the Fiend getting beat up by somebody because he's in the feud. Let him beat up Bo, and then Fiend can get mad about it.
Yeah. Shit. Louie with a $1.99. Are we live? Love you, Jay. They've been watching since 2014. Thank you so much, man. That's a long fucking time. Indigo, $2. Hey, JD and Jesse, much respect. What's up, Indigo? Enjoy your new hoodie, bro. Mr. Cake, $2. If Johnny moves, maybe we get Gargano versus Cesaro. Well, clearly, according to Triple H, the Gargano way is just getting going. He ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Robert Hall, new membership. Thank you, brother. The Little Kev, $1.99. Do you think Daniel Bryan gets drafted to Raw? No. You keep Daniel Bryan on SmackDown. Bryan vs. Reigns is your WrestleMania main event if they do not get The Rock. Gregory Benson, $4.99. What's up, everybody? Do we still need to get Jesse that Britt Baker meet and greet? No AEW Britt Baker talk here, bro. NXT only. We'll worry about that on Wednesday. Drizzy Drew with a $1.99. Watch NXT Cyber Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. LOL. I hated the Cyber Sunday gimmick. WWE let the fans think they had control, but they really didn't.
Yeah, it was so misleading. Even if they did go by the legit votes, they gave you stuff to choose from that obviously the fans are going to pick exactly what they want you to pick.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Mr. Cake with a $4 super chat. He says, Ridge Holland definitely had help in that attack. I like Dream, but he's better off as a gatekeeper. Well, we'll see, man. We'll see what happened with Ridge Holland. WWE, Triple H usually likes to build intrigue leading into the next new set of television tapings, which I do think they will be live from now on, which will definitely help their product. But
they're like Rich Holland kind of reminds me of Timothy Thatcher.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of just there, looks tough, but what else? You know.
Drizzy Drew with a $1.99. I thought that guy Adonis was JTG. Not going to lie, no, bro. JTG looks nothing like fucking Adonis. Whatever his name is. I don't even know who the fuck he was before tonight.
I have no idea who that guy is.
$4.99. Prince, thank you for $4.99, brother. Hey, JD, big fan. Keep doing what you're doing. So happy Ember Moon is back. Would love to see a match with her versus Bianca versus Naomi. Something different. Well, that's not going to happen. She's in NXT, and Bianca is on Raw, and Naomi is recovering from an injury. So it is what it is. Stinky Toffee 12. Demon Finn for Halloween Havoc. No. $1.99 UK. Thank you, man.
I think the Demon is gone for, if not forever, a very long time.
Yeah. Cool Jags, $4.99. Match of the goddamn year. Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor. That was incredible. Match of the year. It's up there. For sure. But match of the year? I don't know, man. I'd have to think about that. I would actually say the match of the year for WWE this year. I got two off the top of my head. Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles for the IC title on SmackDown and the 2020 Royal Rumble match.
Rumble match was good.
Yeah.
I don't remember the best matches in WWE though.
I'd even do Dijakovic and Keith Lee at TakeOver Portland too.
I've seen those guys wrestle too many damn times. So.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you which one stuck out, better as best as from the other ones. But they've all been great, but I couldn't tell you which one was the one best,
And listen, we got Sasha versus Bayley Hell in a Cell coming up, so we can't really make that list yet. Because I have a feeling if that's the case, they're gonna fucking tear that shit down.
That's gonna be match of the year right there.
Knowing those two women, absolutely. We got Mr. Cake with a $10 super chat. I love how WWE's been giving reasons why these tag team wrestlers want to get the big one with Jey Uso and Kyle O'Reilly. I love Kenny, but can't get behind him as a singles guy because he just wants to do it. You can't get behind Kenny Omega because he wants to do it. Kenny Omega was one of the best singles wrestlers in the entire world. He's probably the best wrestler on the planet when given the opportunity. You can't get behind Kenny Omega as a singles guy, bro. Come on.
What the hell?
How many of you are going to start a wrestling promotion and take Kenny Omega as your number one? A lot of people. Henley Pierre, $5 super chat. Who can you stomach? Alexa, Mandy, or Charlotte? Who can I stomach? Mandy. Alexa's doing some of the best work of her career right now, so she's not even that bad.
This is awesome right now, man.
He also says, do you see The Fiend going to Raw to face Drew for the WWE title and win it? No, I see the Fiend going to Raw, but I don't necessarily want to see him win a championship because how many times have we seen him win a championship and they've done nothing with him? He doesn't need a championship.
It does look like they want to separate Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah, definitely. We got a 207 Australian. This is a troll, but I'm going to read it anyway because the name is fucking ridiculous. Funky, cocky, bad boy Will, Mama's Chicken Dog McCann. He says, Demeter Bullying on CZW coming to NXT. I have no fucking idea who that is. Whatever. AWS Promotions, $4.99. They better bring back Spin the Wheel. Make the deal like WCW did. Please, enough of the fucking gimmicks.
Wrestle, man. That's it. How hard is that?
The Little Kev, $1.99. Do you think AJ Styles is going to Raw? Absolutely. It's the reason he put over Jey Uso on SmackDown. And Master with a $5 Canadian super chat. Gargano looks like Cobra Kai. He looked like a Cobra Kai student tonight. I didn't notice that. He might have. He looked like something out of the Roman Empire with that ring gear that he came out with. But Gargano's always got great takeover gear, so it's nothing new.
I love the new Cobra Kai series. You watching it?
I have not. No.
Oh, man. It's good stuff, man.
I have not.
I've always been a big Karate Kid fan, so.
Well, you know what was good stuff? This show was good stuff today. I appreciate you for stopping by and making us the #1 show in the IWC tonight. I want to thank Jesse for being here as always. If you guys want to check out any more of Off the Script, you guys can check out everything that the channel has to offer this week down below in the description. Everything you need is linked down there. All the official playlists. Follow me on Twitter, man, at JD from NY206. Twitter and Instagram. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. If you guys want to support, as always, Patreon, mouthmasker.com/OTS. Get your t-shirts, bonfire.com. Link is down in the description for all your t-shirts, hoodies, you name it, man. Women's tees down there for the ladies. Go get your stuff on Bonfire. And if you guys want to hit that subscribe button, man, I'm here every day, every week, covering Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and AEW. NXT a little less lately, because the show really isn't that good and worth it to me. But I'll be back on Monday for a live stream on Raw. Monday Night Raw is going to get slaughtered because there's 2 football games happening at the same time on Monday night. So good for Vince and Bruce. Any parting words, Jesse, before we get the hell out of here?
Man. Thanks for having me on. It was a great show. It was a good show. It was a good show. Great wrestling. Good show, I guess. But the show, what would have made the show better would have been better storytelling. But I mean, I don't know. It's just weird. This does not feel like NXT anymore, man. I don't know about you, but when I get bored, I still go back and watch old takeovers.
Listen, man, I don't blame you. You just miss it. You know, you miss that energy. That energy is unlike anything. You know?
Yeah.
Quintendo with a late $2 super chat. Sorry for the late super chat. LOL. OTS is awesome, bro. You know what else is awesome? This guitar solo coming up. Me and Jesse are getting in the Mustang. We got the windows rolled down. We got our fucking cold beverages. We're going to get the hell out of here. I'll see you guys on Monday night. I'll be back with Jesse on Wednesday night for Dynamite. Have a good night, guys.